there you go, folks.
Good morning,
How'd you
Service
like them
Alliance
intros?
community. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Jason?
How you doing?
I am doing well.
That was quite the interesting intro.
Yeah, something different. We've used it before, but
There's a band called Muse, and it reminded me of one of their songs. I'm trying to remember what the song is, but yeah, I'm not gonna try to sing it because it's way too early in the morning. But yeah,
I don't think I'd want to hear it if it was the afternoon.
ouch! Wow.
I don't know. I've never heard you sing, so I guess I can't speak to that.
Well,
You definitely don't want to hear me in the morning, afternoon, or evening. I
there
was
you go.
not blessed like that.
Yeah.
Definitely
Wow.
not.
Got a bunch of people already jumping on this morning. That's
I
good.
just noticed that.
I don't have a beach behind me, but I've got the sunrise to the right of me, which is good. But it's over a field and some houses. So
Yeah. Paul said that the music was aggressive for this early. Okay. Noted.
noted, duly noted.
Everybody's talking about the intro this morning. What
Right?
new intro music and video? I want the old music.
I'm just
Good
saying,
morning,
change
Jeremy.
is tough. Change is tough.
Change is tough. We
And
are going to be working on a new intro, so we'll change it up. Have some different intros coming. So
and get some good feedback along the way.
yeah. Morning, Adam. Jerry. Who else? Dan. Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan.
What's up, EJ? Morning, Gasper. Garrison. Thanks for checking in this morning, guys. And gals, if you haven't checked in, but you're watching. So,
A needle
what
pulling
are we
thread.
talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about 6 ways to navigate personal growth and well being in your home service business. That's what we're talking
Love
about.
it.
We've got 6 key things that we think would be really good and beneficial. So, um, John Maxwell, this is crazy because John Maxwell, all of his books were always odd numbers, right? So you've got the 15 invaluable laws of growth, the 21 laws of leadership. I mean, I've got tons of books over here. But he finally wrote a book that's titled The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication, the first book he's ever written with an even number in there. So today, we're talking about the 6 ways to navigate growth and personal well-being in your home service business. There you go.
Sounds like fun. I can't wait. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready. I got the coffee. Hello, handsome.
Oh, you're talking to me. Hi, handsome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hello, handsome.
Hey,
right there in the coffee cup.
Sorry, mine's just water.
You're
Sorry.
handsome, Jason. I was
Thank you.
definitely talking to you. So if 3 people have sex, it's a threesome. If 2 people have sex, it's a twosome. That's why we call you handsome.
Oh Lord. Wow. Okay, we need to pray on that one. Wow. Yeah, my face just went red, and that's not from the sun from last week. So
yeah, looking a little rosy there, aren't you? I just couldn't help myself. You know, we start with these dad jokes, and
oh man,
yeah.
Well, I had a great childhood. Dad used to roll me down the hill in tires. Those were the good years.
Absolutely. How was your weekend?
The weekend was good. I mean, Saturday we was on the beach. Sunday we drove home. So, yeah. Yeah. So it was good. Yeah, we had a good time.
That's good.
Ready to get back and smash it. We've got some Tabitha and Shayna will be in New Jersey next week. I'll be down in Nashville next week. The week after that, we are in North Carolina for Arbor Fest. So we got Arbor Expo, Arbor Fest, and Compass Days coming up, all within like the next month. So we got a bunch of stuff we're doing travel wise for the business and spreading the good news of My Office Help. So, and the Service Alliance Group.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Well, yeah, we've got a lot of people joining in being like, what the heck was that all
Yeah.
about?
Doug's wondering what the podcast is about. He just joined in right at the right time.
Boy.
I'm sure there's more to come. So,
Yeah, if you use
that was not meant to be pun. Just saying. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this one off of our Facebook account.
Yeah, we're on the verge of,
That's
we've
pretty
gone
handsome.
past G-rated at this point.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and pray us in?
I think maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm not the right guy.
Yeah. No, I think you're the one that should be praying us in today.
All right. We're doing Psalm 127:2. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for your food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. This verse is talking about the futility of overworking at the expense of your health and well-being, and reminds us that rest is also a gift from God. Amen
Yep.
to that.
Was that a prayer or was that a verse? I thought
That's
you
a
were doing the
verse.
prayer.
No, you're doing the prayer. So
I'm doing the prayer. Oh,
I
Lord,
was
yes.
I was just elaborating on the verse.
All right. Well, here we go. God, help us today. Help Mike especially, and give him some better jokes that are not so handy. And just be with us today as we go about our day. And above all, let us just love you and love others. Amen.
Amen.
I keep it short and sweet today.
Yeah.
So finding the right work-life balance, right? This is tough for a lot of us. I don't know. For some reason, we all seem to struggle. I've struggled with this for years, Uh, you see that triangle, everybody puts that triangle out there where you have your personal life, your business life, your spiritual life, whatever, and you got to try to keep everything in balance, right? And that just seems to be really tough. So we're going to talk about a few different things that you could possibly do today that could help you out with that. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Let me tell you, I just spent a week with my family, but yet we still had business things that we did. So I was doing the podcast. I was doing a lot of our marketing stuff that I take care of. Shayna was jumping up in the room every so often doing consultation calls. So it's I took a couple calls on the beach. We even had one of our um, he's not a client, but he refers us like crazy. He drove up a couple hours and came and hung out with us on Saturday on the beach, and he stayed till probably about 11 o'clock on Saturday night, just hanging out with the family, eating dinner and playing games with us. Right, so he's a big into PSA and ASTI and has a really good appliance company. They've got like 6 techs down there. So come up now. So it's still a lot of business even happening with the personal life, right? Is that balancing. So balancing the demands of growing home service businesses with personal well-being can be a challenge, right? So we're going to discuss some strategies for finding a healthy balance and even setting boundaries between work and personal life. That's tough, especially when you're in business with your spouse. And she sits 13 feet away. So you want to kick us off? What's a good one to start off with there, Mike?
Well, obviously the work-life balance is the biggest, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you actually find and take a step back? Because I struggle with this big time. I work from home, and
Mm-hmm.
It never leaves me. And I woke up this weekend. I don't know. It was like a little after 5, came downstairs to get some water, and I just made the mistake of glancing into my office and looking at my emails, and then it was over. I was
Yeah.
like sitting down, taking care of things, and 2 hours later, I went back upstairs to take a shower. Like, all right, I guess
Yep.
I'm gonna start my day for the second time.
Yeah.
So, um, it's tough, when your business, even though you may leave your house, you start off from your house, your
Yeah.
your work comes home. You know,
Yeah.
especially if your wife's working from home, answering your phones, or doing paperwork, things like that. Just paying the bills for the business and ordering parts. It's really hard for so many different companies to separate that, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like you got to have a dedicated office in your home and lock the door, lock yourself out of it,
So
instead of in it.
yeah. So that um, creating a supportive work environment, I think this would boil down into one of the six, right? A positive work environment that can contribute both to your business growth and your personal well-being. So that workspace needs to be supportive. It could be an inclusive workplace. Um, make it a place that you have a door that you can shut it. So if you work from home, I think this is definitely a key one. Making a place that it's not in the middle of your home. Maybe you have a basement, put it in the corner of the basement, or maybe you have a garage, put it out in the garage, or if you have just it's a place where you could close the door and your office times are from this time to that time, right? With us now, our offices are still on our property, but it's a completely separate building from where our house is. We have 4.5 acres, so we still have that ability to. All right, it's closing time. I've got things I've got to go do. Not to say it's not going to happen. You're still going to come out here sometimes because I do a lot of my stuff out on my computer. Um, I have my bass guitar here, so I come out here and I practice in the evenings when nobody's out here on the weekends, things like that. So this is literally my office, my studio, my everything. I come out here and I do my devotions. I so creating a positive work environment, right? I have pictures of my family. I have pictures of things. I've got challenge coins. Um, I've got hats from past businesses, that we've owned or had, going all the way back to Shayna's grandfather's business, Starnes Electric. So um, just creating that positive work environment. It's got to be supportive, right?
Yeah,
I think that's a
absolutely.
really good one. So I think a key part of that is trying to set hours and sticking with them. We're not always going to abide with them, but do your best to stick with them, right?
Yeah, I mean, we own a business. We're always going to be connected to our businesses,
Yeah,
and there are no boundaries when it comes to work hours. Sometimes,
yeah. I think it.
sometimes you have no choice. But if you start to have the mindset that these are my hours, and I am going to cram as much in those hours as I possibly can, so that I
Yeah,
can enjoy myself outside those hours. Taking that mindset helps. It doesn't happen all the time, but it helps.
yeah. I think that feeds into another good point, which is setting priorities.
Hmm.
So we all have limited time, limited resources. So I think it's important to prioritize our tasks and our activities that'll help give us the biggest impact on our business and our personal well-being, right? So in prioritizing, I I hate to say I live and breathe by my calendar, but it's pretty close. I have a Google calendar that lines up with our personal calendar, and we have an even another calendar that everybody puts time off requests for. But prioritizing your day, I'm actually wanting to create a whole nother journal. I've done this in the past and I got away from it, but I've got other things that I'm wanting to incorporate with it. But it's a daily journal, and it starts off with my here journal, right? So my here journal is, I could dive into that with a whole nother conversation, but it's a way that I just journal throughout the day, or a part of the day. So I do my daily devotional, and it's a way that I can hear, I can apply, I can explain, and I can respond to. I said that backwards. Just a scripture, right? If you want to know more about that, let me know. Send me a message, and I'll send you some more information about that. But incorporating that as part of my day, the day before, going through and looking at what are my tasks that I need to do, make sure I'm getting some workout time in, make sure I'm getting the right nutrition that I need, right? So just setting priorities for you personally that will feed into, okay, what do I've got to do business wise, right? And then what are my priorities in my business? So we were given 24 hours every day, right? 8 hours to work and labor, um, 8 hours to sleep, and 8 hours to help our fellow man and for our family. We can look at it however you want to, but spread the day out in 8 hour increments if you want to, and prioritize it that way. What about you? How do you go about setting priorities?
I I struggle with this sometimes. I have to basically look at organizing my day so that I can get the best out of it. So that I can cram as much in. And I failed at this yesterday big time. I had so many meetings back to back that I got no real work time left, at the end of
Hmm.
the day. And I was like really crushing and trying to cram as much into that time as I possibly could that I had left. And I remember sitting at dinner and we're eating, and I'm like just thinking of all the other things that I have to do. And it was just starting to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what? I need to like not focus on that. Tomorrow's another day. I don't have as many meetings set up. So I can cram that stuff in tomorrow, and I mean, the bottom line is you've only got so many hours in the day
Yeah.
and you can only accomplish so much in a day. So you need to prioritize, and you need to look at, how can I streamline what I've got working and what's not important. I think identifying what's the most important and the least important things is really, really good to look at. But I've always one thing that I try to do is always knock out the easiest things first. Just
Yeah.
knock take all the easiest, fastest things that you can knock off first, and just go through them really quick, and then just get them off your plate. And you feel a sense of accomplishment at that point.
Hmm.
You can say, "Ah,
Yeah.
man, I'm checking stuff off, man. I'm rocking and rolling, and now I don't have to worry about it." So it gives you like this mental boost, I guess, of accomplishment and a good feeling for it. So um, that's one thing that I do, and
Yeah.
it's helped me personally. I believe a lot. So when I do get to the bigger things, I can focus on those without
Mhm.
worrying about all that little stuff over my head,
Yeah.
hanging over me.
That's a good point, Matt. Tackle the easy stuff first. So I want to reiterate this: tackle the easy stuff first, so it makes the like you've got a lot accomplished right away. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I I think I have. You might want to try this because I've sometimes done the hard stuff first, got it out of the way, and then the rest of my day seems easy. So I guess really
Right.
what comes down to is find what works best for you. Is it tackling the easy stuff first, or is it tackling the hard
Yeah.
things first? I don't know. Hmm.
I
That's
mean,
pretty cool. I like the way you
another
think.
another thing is, when you're doing that, you have to identify what you can delegate off to others. What how can you leverage others and delegate things that are just taking your time?
So that's our next
And
point.
yeah,
Delegating
that's
tasks effectively.
yes. So
Yeah.
delegating tasks effectively. I mean, I also find a little bit of struggle in this. I'm like 50-50 on this,
Yeah.
because it's like sometimes I look at something and I'm like, man, I could delegate this off, but I could knock it out fast too, and I'm like, I could knock this out, but that's why I have employees, that's why
Yeah.
I have people,
Yeah.
and resources. So
Well,
I have to remind myself, leverage those people and those resources that I have.
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's tempting as you grow your business to want to just try to take care of everything yourself, right? And
Yeah,
like you said, learning to delegate the tasks can definitely help you maintain a better balance and prevent burnout. So, but I mean, what are some different things that you, as an appliance repair person, if you want to put some comments in the post here, what are some things that you can delegate that would take off your plate that would give you an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, every day that you could spend, working out or spending extra time with your family playing some games? What are some of those extra things that you can do?
that's one
Um,
thing that I definitely delegate out is the working out. You know, I have my daughter do all that for me. And she does a really good job. So
how's that working for you?
it's working out great for me. You know,
Yeah. I like what Mark said here. Mark Kelly put in here. I think Tuesdays are the most informative shows. Good job, guys. Thank you, Mark. I
thank you,
appreciate that.
Mark. That makes us feel really good. We like
Yeah.
that kind of feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you
Sorry,
so much.
Zach, EJ, Doug, Shayna. Yeah. Miss Ward. I mean, TK, Tuesdays are the most informative show. Is that good or bad? I guess that would be good. He did say good job. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's good.
yeah. So there are a lot of things that you can do that to delegate, be it in house if you have a team or outside, you can delegate your website and SEO to great companies like ITD Web Design. You could delegate your answering your phones and run your back office to a great company like My Office Help. So that's two easy things that we can take off your plate right there and free up a lot of time. I delegate all of my website stuff, well, a good portion of my website stuff to Mike. So Mike has done a great job on our website. And so yeah, there are a lot of things, even emails. You can hire VAs to go through and sift through your emails. Um, there is, oh
Oh,
man, there's
there's
so many different
bookkeeping.
companies out
There's
there.
there's just general paperwork type stuff. That
Yeah,
you don't have to spend a lot of time doing that after you've worked all day.
no, there's
Running
so many
calls.
things you could do. Another one, I want to come back to this one, but let's talk about investing in personal development. That's another key thing that you need to do
That's a
to
great one.
maintain. As a business owner, it's important to prioritize your own personal and professional growth. So we're not just talking to business here, we're talking about personal and professional growth. So what are some ways that you can invest in your own development? What kind of workshops, maybe mentorship, education opportunities, um, spiritually, physically, business wise. I always say mentors, coaches in three areas of your life: personal, spiritual, business. So, what are some things that you can think of, Mike?
Well, I I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Okay, number one.
Hmm.
But I listen to a lot of audiobooks that are specific on how to kind of streamline and prioritize my stuff, whether
Hmm.
it is in personal or business, right?
Yeah,
Um, and more what's important to focus on, right?
yeah,
So a lot of these books, and videos that I watch, they I target the ones that are going to make the most impact, or what I think are going to make the most impact,
yeah,
because you can learn a lot. I mean, I've lived long enough to find out that just because I read a book doesn't mean it was fruitful. It's once you learn how to seek out the proper information, that's one thing that I've learned to kind of streamline in itself, and
yeah,
I'm not going to waste my time listening to a 7-hour book that isn't getting me anywhere, and I've done
yeah,
that so many times, and it's like, man, I just wasted 7 hours of my life for one little tiny nugget,
Yeah.
that's really actionable for me, that wasn't just fluff just to sell a book. And now I scrutinize the books. I ask other people, who have read them. I check them out a little bit more now, because that in itself is a waste of time.
Yeah.
So I'm working towards trying to figure out where where can I get the most fruitful information that's going to give me something actionable that I can implement, and
Mhm.
then that is going to help me,
And
and
that works
that's a
not
really hard
just,
thing to do.
but that also works in your business, your personal life.
Right.
What are the things that's going to create the most fruit for me? I hate to say me, but we're talking about personal well-being here, right? So what's going to be I
Yeah.
like that, the most fruitful for you. I'm sitting here reading the comments. Uh, it you guys don't get to see all the comments. Mike has to approve the comments. But anyway, Soul says warranty claims seems to be a big one among servicers. Correct. Um, there are companies. We are a company that we can help with warranty claims, um, to help you submit those and follow up with those. So again, you can delegate those. Our company ourselves, we do that for a lot of our clients. So if you'd like more information, you can do that. Um, Personal development, right? We're talking about this. So I just reached up, grabbed a couple of books that I have laying on my desk that I'm going through. So our discipleship group right now, one of the books that we're going through is called Growing Up. It's how to be a disciple. So um, it's a good one. We're following it up with 10 Steps to Following Christ, which is in my house right now. So those are two books that we're going through in our discipleship group. Shane and I'm going to talk a little bit. Hope it's okay. So communication, right? If you're married, this is a book that Shane and I just got yesterday. It's called Hold Me Tight by Dr. Sue Johnson. And so it just helps you with communication in your marriage, right? Personal development, training. There's all kinds of trainings. I mean, you've got ASTI, PSA, Service Alliance Group has got training. You got Encompass Days coming up. You've got all these different companies that holds either inexpensive training or free training for you, right? You have YouTube. YouTube is a plethora of, somewhat free, depends on if you're subscribing or not, information. You've got social media. You can follow all these different kinds. I mean, if you're saying that I can't find anything, you're not looking hard enough, because there's tons of free training out there. That's for sure. So if you need help finding some training, I know Mike and I'd be glad to help you out with it, because I know they're out there. But yeah. Okay, let's keep on moving on here. We've talked about delegation. We've talked about setting priorities. We've talked about creating a supportive work environment. We've talked about investing in personal development, maintaining a healthy work life blend. That could be another one. Consider striving for a work life blend that allows you to integrate your personal and professional lives in a way that works for you. So, how can you? And then there's one other that we want to talk about before we leave today that I think is probably a tough one for a lot of us, especially as
Yeah.
guys. So, hold your shorts there. So, what are some benefits of finding a healthy blend, and how do you maintain it over time? Right. That's kind of a tough one to talk about. I think.
Well,
What's
you
your
just
thoughts?
did it last week. You
Oh,
you
yeah,
blended
good
you
point.
blended work with your vacation, so it made
True.
your work more pleasurable being on the beach, you know,
Yeah,
and it depends on the environment, right? So if you're
right.
blending your work with a good environment,
Yeah,
that's a really good positive thing,
yeah,
because you're more focused on vacation than you are on work. So you kind of flip everything around, right? Instead of
yeah.
focusing on work more than,
True.
your personal. And so I think that's a good way to balance things out. It's
Hmm.
I think just taking a break during the day. I take
Yeah,
little 10-15 minute walks, here and there
yeah,
throughout the day sometimes. And just getting up and leaving for 10 minutes and walking around the block.
Yeah.
That 10 minutes does more for me than I can even probably put into words, because it
Well,
gives my brain a reset.
I
And
think this is flowing into our final point as well, and it's
yeah,
really marrying it very well, which is managing stress. You know, um, Mike, you were hitting it on the head talking about that.
yeah,
Um, Here's a good point: taking a walk, as Mike said last week. I don't golf. I'm not a golfer, but my youngest son Isaiah is getting into golf, and so we took our golf clubs down to Florida and we hit up a couple of different golf clubs, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. I didn't care if I played well or not. I was with my son. I was having fun. We were in the sun, and it was a good time, right? So managing stress. He wants to be more into golf. I kind of I actually kind of enjoyed this. Maybe I could do better. So we started watching some videos and just learning more about things. And we've got a golf course right down the street from us that maybe one of those we'll go out to the range and maybe progressively start getting better at golf. Probably not, but it's a way that I can help manage stress, right? So going and exercising, taking a 10-minute walk, like Mike said in the middle of the day. I know for me is when I was in a truck for 25 years, I remember sometimes after a service call, I would do what we call door hangers. And so I would clover leaf the 5 houses. So it's just taking a 10, 15-minute walk around the neighborhood and putting door hangers up on houses. I remember that was a nice break before I started heading to my next job that helped me clear my mind because I was taking a walk. I was enjoying the outside.
mhm,
So, yeah, managing stress. Running a home service business is definitely can be stressful at a lot of points, especially as you're growing. So,
yeah. I mean,
managing stress,
you le-
preventing burnouts.
if you have a stressful morning, or just one stress, like say everything's going great, and you just have that one nightmare customer, you know, when you leave there, just stop at a park for 10 minutes and just leave your phone in the vehicle, lock everything up, and just go for a 10-15 minute walk. Take that
Yeah.
break so that you can disconnect, just something. You have
Leave
to
your cigarettes
disconnect.
in the truck.
Yeah. And just, if you're a believer in the Lord, just go out and pray. There's nothing better than just getting out, especially at say a nice park, and just look around and enjoy what God's given you, and just be thankful, and enjoy God's work in nature. I love
Yeah.
doing that. And I found that does more for my soul than anything. And when I work
Yeah.
constantly and don't take those breaks, that's when the stress for me just starts to compound.
Yeah.
It just makes it worse and worse and worse. And it comes on so slowly that you don't even realize it.
100%. Well, I know we're getting towards the end of our time here. So, wrapping up, Psalms 127:2 is our scripture verse today. We were talking about 6 ways to navigate that work life balance, right? Um, especially when you're growing. So delegating tasks, setting priorities, managing stress, creating a supportive work environment, investing in personal development, and then maintaining a healthy work life blend. So those were our 6 key topics there. So,
Awesome.
well, what do you think, Mike?
I think we did good today.
All right.
I think we done good. Except my
What
opening joke calling you
opening
handsome.
joke? That was
Hey, there
that
was a
was
couple
interesting.
people that thought it was funny.
I gotta say, I'm excited for the upcoming weeks. Next week we're talking about mentoring. The week after that is sustainability. The next week is community. Community is a fun one to talk about. So next week, mentoring
Mentoring.
be an interesting one.
One last
Good one.
thing. Mark says when I was running calls, I had an extra 10 minutes. I just recline my seat and meditate. That's good.
Yeah, meditate with my eyelids closed and Some snoring might have happened.
Yeah, maybe some snoring could have happened. You
Yeah.
know, I have definitely been in that situation before. Sometimes you just gotta take a break. You know, have that Kit Kat bar.
We were. I was telling you that my friend came up from. He's kind of East Orlando, hung out with us, and we were playing chess. And I said, while we were playing chess, I said, let's make this interesting. So we stopped playing chess.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a friend
All
call me
right,
this
that's
weekend. He's fallen on hard times, and I'm like, well, what's going on? He's like, man, I'm okay, but I can't pay my water bill. So I sent him a get well soon card.
okay. Okay.
And we'll
Get
end it
well.
at that.
So,
All right, everybody. You have a great week. Don't get stressed out. Delegate your
we
work.
just ruined everything. The great, comments that we got.
We had a good flow, but I just shut it down,
Yeah.
right?
Our bad jokes. They need work. They need work. Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Have a great week.
And you have a wonderful week. Have a good one.